Imagine holding in your hand not just an old coin, not just a piece of pocket change, but a treasure so powerful, so rare, that it could rewrite your entire destiny overnight. These are not just nickels. These are buffalo nickels that the world of collectors hunts like lost treasures of gold and diamonds. In today's video, I will reveal the top 5 ultra-rare and most valuable buffalo nickels, coins that hide within them a story of history, mystery, and staggering value. Stay with me because each coin I reveal will draw you deeper into the world of treasure hunting. By the time we reach the end, you will realize that maybe, just maybe, you or someone you know has been sitting on a fortune disguised as a simple nickel. This is not fantasy. This is not fiction. This is truth that shocks and amazes collectors every single day. And trust me, the last coin in this list will leave you speechless. Its value is enough to change lives, and its story will ignite chills down your spine. So get ready, stay tuned, and remember you are watching Rare U.S. Coin Secrets, the most faithful and most trusted source that updates you daily with fresh, verified, and heart-pounding information about the rarest coins in America. Let's dive in. Coin number 1. The first coin on our journey today is none other than the Buffalo Nickel of 1927 with the Denver mint mark. At first glance, it looks like just another piece of change from America's past. But when you hold it in your hand, you're not holding just a coin. You're holding a story, a piece of American history, a key that unlocks the vault of unimaginable wealth. The Buffalo Nickel series itself began in 1913, designed by James Earl Fraser, one of the most talented sculptors of the early 20th century. He wanted to capture the raw, untamed spirit of the American West. That's why on the front of this coin, you'll see the proud profile of a Native American chief, his feathers etched with detail, his face stern and noble. And on the reverse, the mighty American buffalo, a symbol of power, endurance, and a tribute to the disappearing wildlife of that era. But not all buffalo nickels are created equal. Among them, the 1927D holds a very special place. Why? Because coins minted in Denver in that year were produced in far fewer numbers compared to other mints, and many that survive the passage of time are heavily worn. Finding one in fine condition, especially with its original details still visible, is like stumbling upon a buried relic of gold. Now, let's talk about unique features. If you look carefully at this coin, the D-mint mark sits just beneath the words 5 cents on the reverse. That tiny letter might not seem like much, but it is the mark that transforms this nickel from ordinary to extraordinary. Collectors around the world know that the D from 1927 carries with it a demand unlike most other dates. Add to that the distinctive black shade and aged toning that some examples show, a natural patina earned after nearly a century, and suddenly this coin becomes not just money, but art, heritage, and treasure combined. When it comes to rarity and demand, the story only gets more exciting. Buffalo nickels are already one of the most collected series in the United States. Coinage. But the 1927D sits high above the rest. In fine condition, where you can still see the feathers on the Native American profile, and the buffalo's shape clearly, collectors will stop at nothing to claim it. Auction houses whisper its name, private collectors chase it, and every coin enthusiast dreams of adding it to their vault. This is not just demand, this is obsession. Now here's the moment you've been waiting for. The current market value of a 1927D Buffalo nickel in fine condition with its black shaded surface and remarkable preservation is a jaw-dropping $178,500. Yes, you heard that right. A single nickel, something smaller than your thumb, can fetch nearly $200,000 in today's auction market. This is not hype. This is not exaggeration. This is today's truth, a treasure that can make you rich overnight. Owning a coin like this is like having a chest of gold locked inside your pocket. And the best part, its value is not stagnant. It rises day by day, higher and higher, like a rocket breaking through the sky. Wait for time and you will see it climb even further. For collectors, here's my tip. If you ever come across a Buffalo nickel from 1927, check the reverse carefully. Look for the D-mint mark below the 5 cents. Examine the condition. Are the details of the Indian head visible? Can you still see the buffalo's shoulder and tail? These are signs that you might be holding a coin worth life-changing amounts. Never underestimate a nickel. Always check before you let it go. In conclusion, the 1927 D Buffalo nickel is not just a coin, it's a monument of history, a piece of art, a vault of wealth, and a dream for every collector. To hold it is to hold the fragment of America's past and a treasure chest for your future. And this is just the beginning. The next coins I reveal are even rarer, even more valuable, and their stories will keep you on the edge of your seat. Remember, you're watching Rare U.S. Coin Secrets, where every day we bring you the most faithful, most trustful, and the freshest updates in the coin world. Stay tuned because the next coin on this list will shock you even more. Coin number 2. Now that we've uncovered the mystery of the Denver Mint, let's step into even deeper waters. The 1927 Buffalo nickel struck in Philadelphia without any mint mark. At first glance, you might say, well, if it doesn't even have a mint mark, then what's so special about it? But trust me, this is where the suspense and the beauty of rare coin collecting truly unfold. The Philadelphia Mint was the oldest and most prestigious of all United States. Mints and coins struck there in the 1920s carry an aura of classic American craftsmanship. The 1927 nickel, minted without a mint mark, is part of that legacy. Like its Denver cousin, it features James Earl Fraser's iconic design, the solemn Native American portrait on the obverse and the mighty buffalo on the reverse. But don't be fooled by its similarity. Its uniqueness comes not just from the absence of the mint mark, but from its story, its rarity, and the way collectors perceive it today. Let's go back for a moment to the history. By 1927, America was living in a roaring decade. Industry was booming, jazz was echoing through city streets, and the nation was roaring toward prosperity, unaware of the crash that was just a few years away. In the middle of this, the Buffalo nickel stood as a reminder of heritage, of the strength and resilience of both Native American culture and the wild buffalo that once roamed in uncountable numbers. When you hold this coin, you hold a piece of 1920s America, frozen in metal. Now for its unique features. The most important one is obvious: this nickel has no mint mark. That means it was minted in Philadelphia, the birthplace of American coinage. Unlike the Denver version, there is no D beneath the 5 cents on the reverse. But here's the secret. While Philadelphia often produced larger quantities, finding a 1927 without mint mark in fine condition today is a rarity beyond belief. Most of these coins circulated heavily, losing their details to decades of use. But in fine condition, where the feathers of the Native American can still be seen and the buffalo still stands proud, it transforms into a true treasure. Collectors know this truth: condition is king. The absence of the mint mark doesn't reduce its value. In fact, it increases demand because finding a piece this well preserved is like discovering a diamond in the sand. The coin's natural toning, its patina of age, and its authentic wear all add to its beauty. Each scratch is not damage but history. Each curve of detail still visible is proof of survival against time. And now comes the moment of revelation. The current market value of a 1927 Buffalo nickel without mint mark, in fine condition, is an astonishing $175,500. Yes, my friends, over $175,000 for a coin you could mistake for pocket change. This is not fantasy. This is happening right now in today's auction market. This nickel is not a small piece of metal. It is a vault of wealth, a treasure chest, and a lifetime opportunity compressed into a 5-cent coin. Its value is not steady. It is climbing day by day, pushing higher as demand outpaces supply. Wait for time, and you will see it grow even more. For collectors and treasure hunters, my advice is simple but powerful. If you ever come across a 1927 Buffalo nickel without mint mark, never ignore it. Check its condition closely. Look for sharp details on the Native American's profile. Examine the buffalo's form, and ensure the words 5 cents are crisp. If it matches the grade, you could be holding not just a coin, but a fortune in your fingertips. In conclusion, the 1927 Buffalo nickel without mint mark is proof that sometimes the absence of something like a mint mark makes it even more desirable, even more valuable, and even more legendary. It stands as a beacon for collectors, a testimony to America's roaring past, and a reminder that treasures often come in the most unassuming forms. And remember, this is just coin number 2. We are only getting started. The next coins on this list are even rarer, even more explosive in value, and their stories will make your heart race. Stay tuned, because you are watching Rare U.S. Coin Secrets, the channel you can trust, the faithful guide that brings you the freshest and most shocking updates every single day. Coin number 3. Now, as we move forward in our treasure hunt, we leave the roaring 1920s and step even deeper into the past, into the heart of America's history just after the First World War. And here lies a coin that carries with it not only wealth, but the story of an entire generation, the Buffalo nickel of 1917 without mint mark. When you first see this coin, it may look like just another Buffalo nickel, but let me tell you, appearances can be deceiving. The truth is, this coin carries a weight that few others can match. Its age alone makes it extraordinary, but it is the combination of history, design, rarity, and condition that transforms it into a legend in the world of numismatics. Let's take a moment to understand the history and background. The year 1917 was only 4 years after James Earl Fraser's Buffalo nickel design had debuted in 1913. His mission was to create a coin that was uniquely American, unlike anything seen before. He wanted to move away from the classical European-inspired designs and instead give America a coin that reflected its own spirit. The result was the proud Native American portrait on the obverse and the mighty buffalo on the reverse, a symbol of both heritage and strength. In 1917, America was entering a new chapter. The world was at war, and though the U.S. had just joined the conflict, the country was already undergoing transformation. Against this backdrop, the Buffalo nickel circulated in the hands of soldiers, farmers, and everyday citizens. And yet, despite millions being struck, very few have survived the passage of more than a century in fine condition. That's what makes this coin without a mint mark, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, so extraordinary. Now let's talk about its unique features. The 1917 Buffalo nickel without mint mark bears no letter beneath the words 5 cents on the reverse, signaling its origin in Philadelphia. What makes it stand out is the strength of its details despite its age. In fine condition, you can still see the contours of the Native American's face, the feathered headdress, and the muscular outline of the buffalo. The toning that develops over more than 100 years adds a majestic, almost ancient aura to the coin. Every line, every shade whispers history. When it comes to rarity and collector demand, the 1917 without mint mark is a dream. Most coins of this age are heavily worn, corroded, or damaged beyond recognition. Finding one in fine condition, where the design still shines through, is a discovery that sparks bidding wars at auctions and whispers of envy among collectors. It's the kind of coin that collectors don't just want, they need it. Because it's not just about owning a coin, it's about owning a piece of America's story that survived the test of time. And here comes the thunder, the current market value. A 1917 Buffalo nickel without mint mark in fine condition is valued today at a staggering $210,500. Yes, you heard that right. Over $210,000. A nickel that once bought candy, a loaf of bread, or a newspaper now holds the power to change your financial life forever. This is not fiction, this is truth. Its value continues to rise day by day, with each passing year adding more weight to its legend. Holding this coin is not like owning money. It is like holding a golden key to fortune, a vault of wealth compressed into metal. For collectors, my advice is clear. If you ever come across a 1917 Buffalo nickel without mint mark, examine it with care. Look for the strength of detail in the headdress feathers, check the buffalo's form, and note the preservation of its surfaces. These are the signs that separate a common coin from a treasure worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Never underestimate its power. Coins like this can change lives, and they often hide in the most unexpected places. In conclusion, the 1917 Buffalo nickel without mint mark is not just a relic, it's a living treasure. It is history preserved in copper and nickel, a survivor of more than a century, and a fortune waiting to be unlocked by the one lucky enough to hold it. Its presence in the world of numismatics is like a shining star, guiding collectors and reminding us that sometimes true wealth hides in the simplest things. And we are only halfway through this journey. If you think this coin was breathtaking, wait until you see the next ones. The values soar higher, the stories grow richer, and the excitement only builds from here. Remember, you are watching Rare U.S. Coin Secrets, the most faithful, most trusted channel, bringing you fresh and shocking updates every single day. Don't blink, because coin number 4 is about to blow your mind. Coin number 4. As we move closer to the peak of this incredible journey, we arrive at a coin that bridges the final chapter of the Buffalo nickel era. A piece that carries both beauty and wealth. A coin that still whispers with the voice of America's past. This is the Buffalo nickel of 1936 without mint mark, in fine condition, with a rare and stunning black shade. The history of 1936 is crucial to understand why this coin is so special. America was clawing its way out of the Great Depression. People were struggling, working hard for every nickel and dime they could find. Money was scarce, but the Buffalo nickel remained a steady part of everyday life, an anchor of commerce in uncertain times. James Earl Fraser's design had now been circulating for more than 2 decades, becoming one of the most beloved and recognized coins in the United States. History. And yet, by 1936, whispers were already growing that the Buffalo nickel might soon be replaced. Collectors today look back at these late-date Buffalo nickels with reverence, because they represent the twilight years of one of the most iconic coin designs ever created. And the Philadelphia minted 1936 nickel without mint mark is one of those treasures. Now let's step into the unique features. The first thing to notice is that this coin bears no mint mark, meaning it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. What makes the 1936 example stand out is not only its age and design, but its natural black shade toning. Over decades, as the coin aged, its surface developed a deep, rich patina that enhances the details of the Native American's profile in the buffalo's form. This black shading isn't damage, it's beauty. It's the mark of authenticity, the fingerprint of time, a sign that the coin has lived a century-long journey and still survived with dignity. The details in fine condition are breathtaking. You can still see the headdress feathers, the proud outline of the Native American, and the powerful body of the buffalo. The toning makes these details stand out even more dramatically, giving the coin a sense of power and mystery that ordinary coins simply cannot match. Now, when it comes to rarity and demand, the 1936 Buffalo nickel without mint mark is a jewel among collectors. Although 1936 saw larger mintages compared to earlier years, finding one in fine condition with this kind of deep, natural toning is no small task. Collectors crave originality, authenticity, and uniqueness, and this coin delivers all three. That's why whenever such an example comes to auction, the bidding wars erupt, and the prices soar. And here it is the current market value. A 1936 Buffalo nickel without mint mark, with its distinctive black shade and preserved details in fine condition, is valued today at an astonishing $150,500. Think about that for a moment. A 5-cent coin worth over $150,000. This isn't just money, it's treasure, wealth compressed into art, history frozen into metal. And the most incredible part? Its value is climbing day after day, like a hidden mountain peak rising higher each time collectors compete to own it. Wait for time and you will see it rise even higher, because demand for Buffalo nickels never fades. It only grows stronger. For collectors, here's my advice. If you encounter a 1936 Buffalo nickel, don't dismiss it. Look carefully for the absence of a mint mark, check the surface toning, and see if the details remain sharp. The black shade adds not only to its eye appeal, but also to its desirability in the marketplace. This coin is a perfect example of how age and natural patina can turn a simple nickel into a masterpiece of numismatics. In conclusion, the 1936 Buffalo nickel without mint mark stands as both a farewell and a legacy. It belongs to the final years of the Buffalo nickel series, and it carries the heart of America's struggle, endurance, and rebirth in the 1930s. Owning it is not just about holding a coin, it's about holding a piece of history, a fragment of resilience, and above all, a treasure chest of wealth. And remember, my friends, we are not done yet. We've revealed 4 breathtaking coins so far, each one a treasure in its own right. But the final coin on this list, coin number 5, is waiting. And its story, its rarity, and its value will truly shock you. So don't go anywhere, because you are watching Rare U.S. Coin Secrets, your faithful, trustworthy, and freshly updated channel that covers the greatest hidden treasures in the world of rare coins. Coin number 5. And now, my friends, we arrive at the final chapter of today's journey, a coin that has survived wars, depressions, and the passage of more than a century. A coin that hides beneath its simple nickel surface, a story of wealth so immense, it can take your breath away. This is the Buffalo nickel of 1921 without mint mark. In fine condition, a true treasure among treasures. The year 1921 was no ordinary year in America. The Great War had ended just a few years earlier, and the country was adjusting to a new reality. Industry was booming, cities were expanding, and jazz was beginning to echo through the nation. And in the middle of all this, the Buffalo nickel continued its reign, a coin that carried the spirit of America in its design. Designed by James Earl Fraser, the Buffalo nickel had already become an icon by 1921. The Native American profile on the obverse symbolized strength, heritage, and pride, while the buffalo on the reverse represented endurance, survival, and the wild heart of the American frontier. But the 1921 without mint mark, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, is far more than just another issue in the series. It is one of those coins whose rarity and condition elevate it to legendary status. Let's examine its unique features. This coin bears no mint mark. That means it was struck in Philadelphia, the nation's oldest mint. In fine condition, despite being over 100 years old, you can still see the proud features of the Native American's face, the intricate lines of the headdress feathers, and the muscular form of the buffalo on the reverse. But what sets it apart even further is its authentic toning, the subtle shades that develop only with time, creating an aura of history that modern coins can never replicate. Now, here's where the suspense builds: rarity and demand. The 1921 Buffalo nickel is not only scarce, but highly sought after by collectors worldwide. Most coins from this era circulated heavily, spending decades in the pockets of farmers, workers, and merchants. To find one today in fine condition, with its design still sharp and its surfaces still beautiful, is like stumbling across buried treasure in plain sight. Collectors know this, which is why competition for this coin at auction is fierce, and its demand continues to rise like a tide that never recedes. And now, the moment of truth, the current market value. A 1921 Buffalo nickel without mint mark, preserved in fine condition, commands an astonishing $190,500 in today's auction market. Yes, nearly $200,000 for a coin that was once used to buy bread or milk. But now it is a fortune. It is wealth compressed into copper and nickel, a treasure chest so powerful it can change lives in a heartbeat. And let me be absolutely clear, this is not an exaggeration. This is today's truth, and the value of this coin is climbing day by day. The longer it survives, the higher its worth soars. Wait for time, and you will see it become even more legendary. For collectors, here's my faithful advice. Whenever you come across a Buffalo nickel from 1921, pay close attention. Check carefully for the absence of a mint mark beneath the 5 cents on the reverse. Look for the surviving details in the headdress and buffalo's form. If you find one in fine condition, you may very well be holding a fortune that the world of collectors will fight to own. This is not just a coin, it is a key to unlocking a vault of history and wealth. In conclusion, the 1921 Buffalo nickel without mint mark is a masterpiece of American coinage, a survivor of more than a century and a treasure of immense value. It embodies history, culture, and fortune in a way that no ordinary object ever could. To own it is to hold a piece of America's spirit, and to treasure it is to embrace a wealth that only grows stronger with time. And with that, we close today's journey through the top 5 ultra-rare and most valuable Buffalo nickels. Each coin we've revealed carries with it history, power, beauty, and above all, treasure. From the 1927 D to this 1921 Philadelphia issue, these coins remind us that wealth is not always loud or obvious. Sometimes it hides in plain sight, waiting for those with sharp eyes and faithful hearts to discover it. Remember, you're watching Rare U.S. Coin Secrets, the channel that is trustful, faithful, and dedicated to bringing you the freshest, most powerful updates every single day. If you enjoyed this journey, stay tuned, because tomorrow another treasure awaits, another story will unfold. And who knows, the next fortune might just be hiding in your very own pocket.